आज एक्चुअली रख के क्या जाएगा तो यार रास्ता करा पहले बैठ गया स्टैंड बस यार पापा को पाऊंगी वही आ जाने का बोल के आए
रख देने कहाँ जाएगा।
बोला
गेट से हटा के ही होना
अरे फिर आएंगे
जब तक ही
Hello, yes. How far we have come? So we had started with water. We have started with waterways. Waterways to where? National waterways. Yes. Yes or no? Yes, sir. So we were doing port and harbour, then ports we divided into major ports, minor ports and intermediate. Gave us that. Let me ask the national waterways was done. National waterways. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Except 4 and 5. 4 and 5 we just for the extension. Okay, just I think all of you have the book. So from the book only you can just underline along which river. Okay, river Godavari and along with river Krishna. Okay, which river? And another thing is like the extension, that is Kakinada and Pondicherry. Okay, these two things you will underline that. And for National Waterway 5, along the canal, so connects two states. Make a note: Odisha and West Bengal. That's it. Understood? Okay, nothing more than that. So we have already completed, I think, the major ports. Okay, tell me who looks after the major ports? Central government. Central government. Okay, intermediate port and minor ports. State government. Concerned state government. Yes, government of the state or the UT. Okay, if it is in UT, then if the port lies in the UT, Union Territory, then obviously it will be UT government. And if it is in the any state, then it will be the state government. Clear? Right. Okay, now what we do is, now we'll start with the next thing out here. Okay, that is the difference between the rivers of North India and South India. Right. So for the difference, what you do is, best thing is make a table over there quickly. Understood? Rivers of North India and South India. For that, make a table over there. Okay, like this. Okay, one side write down rivers of North India.
Gate.
Finished? No. Hello. One side write rivers of North India, other side write rivers of South India. Yes, sir. So after this, now what you all are going to do is, you all are going to write the points. Okay, I will just, I cannot write out here, I mean typing also it's the first one write down. Rivers of North India write down, they are snow fed. Snow fed. Okay, or you can write down perennial. You know what is the meaning of snow perennial? Huh? Anyone here? Water flow here. Water flow. Yes, yes. These rivers, they are, I mean the rivers of North India, they are perennial, or snow-fed means they originate from the glacier, and the word perennial means that they have water. They contain water throughout the year. Okay, that is there. Now, just opposite of rain-fed, just opposite of snow-fed will be rain-fed. This means seasonal. So write down for South India. Okay, they are rain-fed. Rain-fed means okay, only in a particular, only in the rainy season they contain water. Okay, and most of the time it remains what, dry. During the rainy season they are filled with water. Okay, sorry, seasonal spelling is wrong. Okay, so please correct it. Okay, SEASONAL. Okay, S is missing. Okay, out here. Understood now? Right. So the first point is done. Now go with the second. Write the second point out here. Write in the second point. Write down. They have, write down. They have long course. Rivers of North India, they have long course. Okay. Rivers of South India, write down. They have short course. Finished? Rivers of North India, they have long course. Rivers of South India, they have short course. Finished? Okay. Third point, write down. Write down. They flow through flat land. Okay, they flow through flat land, which you can write on northern plains. Okay, or you can also write down as flat terrain. Understood? So look at the screen, you can see over there. Now this side, write down, they flow through difficult terrain. They flow through difficult terrain. Clear? Okay, and then write down, they have, same point, okay, they have a number of waterfalls. Finished? Clear? All of you can see now? Yes or no? Okay. The first point out here, see, the rivers of North India and South India, they will ask you the difference. Okay, and there is one more question that they can ask you all is, like, why rivers of North India is navigable and why rivers of South India is not navigable. Okay, so this question can be asked to you all in ICC examination in form of reasoning question also, or it can come it like this only, like to give the difference between the rivers of North India or North India, South India, or what is the advantage of rivers of North India over South India, why rivers of North India is navigable but rivers of South India is not navigable. Okay, so now for navigation means basically for what, like say for to use it for like say like for ship or maybe for boat and all that. Okay, right, can to use it for transportation. Now see, rivers of North India, they are snow fed or they are perennial, meaning they contain water throughout the year. So if the river contains water throughout the year, it is possible to use what, like if it is possible to transport goods, passengers through what, these rivers. Yes or no? Right, through like with the help of by using boat or maybe ships, depending upon the depth of the water. Now in South India, the rivers of South India, mostly what are they? Most of the rivers in South India, they are what? They are rain-fed or they are what they call seasonal. Okay, they will contain water only during which season? They will contain water only in the rainy season. Okay, that is why rivers of South India are not much used for navigation. Second thing out here is, okay, rivers of North India, what do they have? They have a long course. Long course in a sense, they flow for a longer distance. Okay, like you talk about River Ganga. River Ganga in North India is navigable. It's because they have got a long course, they are perennial rivers, and they flow through the flatlands. Okay, so long course, what is the advantage? If they have a long course, they will have more volume of water. The volume of water will be more. Now, in case of South India, the rivers that we find in South India, okay, all the rivers in South India, they have got what? Short course. Okay, they flow only for a short, like for a short distance. Short distance means not 1 kilometer. You must have seen on the map of India, river Godavari, river Krishna, okay, and river Kaveri and all that. So comparatively, okay, in comparison to that of the rivers of North India, they have short course. Clear? Next one, okay, point number 3, they flow through flat land. Okay, that is the rivers of North India, as I already told you, they flow through the plains. Yes or no? Many of you have seen. Yes or no? That this river Ganga, river Brahma, not Brahmaputra, even Brahmaputra, you can say, and say like other rivers are also there. Yes or no? Those rivers actually they are flowing through plains. So in the plains, it is possible to sail if the river does not have any waterfall, if the river does not have any sort of ups and down. Okay, if this is flowing through a flat land, it is possible to use for navigation. That is for transportation. On the other hand, the rivers of South India, they are flowing through flat terrain. Flat terrain means it's flowing through difficult, in between the hills and mountains and all that. Okay, I mean mountains, not exactly mountains in South India, but Deccan Plateau region and all that. So it has got large number of waterfalls. So is it possible to take the ship along the waterfall? No, it will break into pieces. Yes, sir. So this is the main difference between the rivers of North India and South India, and why rivers of North India can be used for navigation, whereas rivers of South India cannot be used. But there are certain questions that have been asked to you all. Okay, that can be asked to you all. So please make a note. The navigable rivers of North India. Navigable rivers of North India means the rivers that can be used for transportation in North India. So write in the name of that. Basically, 2 rivers are the 2 main rivers. We know, we have learned in case of National Waterway also. Can you name them?
Sir, Ganga and Brahmaputra.
Yes, 2 rivers, that is river Ganga and river Brahmaputra. So please do one thing, okay, you all make a note, write down navigable rivers of North India. Write down navigable rivers of North India quickly. Okay, write down the answer as Ganga and Brahmaputra. Finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we have learned about this, that the rivers of South is not not much used for navigation. But it does not mean that all the rivers are not used. Okay, so if they ask you, name one navigable river of South India, which river will be that? Tell me. In South India, which river can be used for navigation? Tell me. There are 3 rivers, major rivers. One is out here like this. The other one is somewhat like this. Over here. Another river is out here like this. This river is navigable. Number 1 is navigable. What is the name of this river?
Mahanadi.
Mahanadi is not here. Mahanadi is
Godavari.
Godavari. Yes, Godavari. So write down write down over there. Rivers of South India. Navigable river of South India as Godavari. Godavari, and to some extent even Krishna also. Okay, to some extent even river Krishna. Okay, all are clear? Yes? Okay, it's a very important point. Okay, very important point. Okay. Now after this, we have to learn about, the next thing out here, that is, the problems of, make a note, right? Problems of inland waterways. Problems of inland waterways. Right? Problems of inland waterways. Inland, I-N-L-A-N-D, not England. Remember this. Some of you hear like that. Write down. Okay. Problems of inland waterways, right? Number one. They are facing the problem of siltation, right? Siltation due to, right? You can direct, right? Siltation due to erosion in the hilly region. Okay, number 1. Number 2, diversion of river water. Next, diversion of river water for irrigation. Next.
So can you please repeat the first point?
I'm typing. Okay. Done? Hello?
Sir, not this.
No, it will be seen to you. Don't worry. I'm typing right now. Okay, you all heard no what I said. One first problem is siltation due to erosion in the hilly region. Diversion of river water for irrigation is another one. And next thing is like say yes, seasonal variation in seasonal variation of water level, right? Of water level. Finished? Seasonal variation of water level in the rivers. Finished? Okay, now it will be visible to you all. Can you all see now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the problems of inland waterways. Now you have to understand this, because based on this, they can ask you any reasoning question can be framed. Okay, right. So problems of inland waterways. What are the problems of inland waterways? Now one is siltation. You know what is siltation? Deposition of silt. Okay, deposition of silt on the bed of the river. Okay, like say for example, okay, say if this is a river. Okay, if this is a river basin like this one, see this one over here, what I'm pointing right now. If this is a river basin out here, like this, okay. Now if it contains less of silt, what will happen? It will have more of what? Tell me, water.
So water.
Yes. So water, it can fill up with water up till this level. Yes, no? It can be filled with water up till this level. But now it is simple that if silt gets deposited out here. Okay, if more silt, like let's take this red one, whatever I'm marking out here, making a dot over here. Okay, let's consider this to be as a silt. If silt gets deposited, what will happen? The place where water is supposed to fit, that excess water will, what will happen? The excess water will what? It will flow into the
Overflow.
what area? Okay now, or it can also be like this that silt is so fine that it gets mixed up with water. Understood now? Okay. So what is happening is out here is the most important thing that is required for navigation is the depth of the what? River water. Yes or no? The depth of the water, okay, will what? It will decrease. Understood now? The depth of the river will decrease. So if the depth of the river will decrease, then obviously what will happen? The bigger ships or might be, like whatever it is, whatever different, like trawlers and all that, okay, they cannot what? They cannot be used for navigation. Okay, so this sort of problem has happened. Okay, the silt, there's a port that is facing a problem of siltation. You can make a note of it also. Okay, make a note of it also. Kolkata port, and Kolkata port. Okay, and I have told you in the last class, I think I have taught you all that Kolkata port is what type of port is it? It is a riverine port. You know what is a riverine port? The riverine port means a port that is located on the what bank of a river. Okay, that's found along the bank of a river. All are clear with this? Okay, now siltation. So is this problem? Now why siltation is happening? Now siltation occurs because of erosion in the hilly region. Now just before, as I told you that this thing is like is happening because of what? That was siltation is happening because of this one. And I gave an example of Kolkata port. Now if you just have a look, okay, in the map, okay, map of India, then where is Kolkata located? First of all, tell me, Kolkata is located right out here in this particular point. Can you see the red dot? I think it becomes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you see this red dot? This is Kolkata, right? Now which river is passing through this particular area? All of you know? The river passing through, flowing through that. When you go to Kolkata, you get to see a bridge also on top of that. Which river is that? Ganga passes nearby, and there's another one like a branch of it. What is it? Yes, Hooghly is also there. Yes or no? Right. So now, where is this river actually flowing from? Tell me. Where is this actually river coming from? It is coming
from the Himalayas.
From the Himalayan region. Now in the Himalayan region, due to continuous, like say, deforestation, cutting of trees, okay, felling of trees in the Himalayan region, okay, the rivers in the Himalayan region, what they are doing? They are actually what? They are actually, what do you call? They are eroding the what? the hills and mountains and all that. Erosion is taking place rapidly over the due to deforestation. So the silt that is there, the sediment that is there, is being carried or brought down by the river out here. And where does it get deposited? It gets deposited on the bank of the river or on the bed of the river. Okay, so which causes what? Siltation. That is what we call it as siltation. Okay, so siltation is basically a big problem faced by Kolkata port, and why they are facing this particular problem is because of erosion in the hilly region. So they can ask you, okay, name a port that is facing the problem of siltation. Then you will write the answer as what? Kolkata port. And if they ask you why they are facing such problem, then what you'll write? What will be your answer? Tell me.
So erosion in the hilly region.
Yes, due to erosion in the hilly region. Okay, this is one important thing. The next one, you see that second point, diversion of water, river water for irrigation. Now, as I already told you, that so this one is a river. See, this is a river out here. Now, in this particular river, just consider that, okay, obviously there's a water out here. It's a perennial river. Suppose water is flowing through out here. Water is here. Okay, now if the water is not used for anything, like say not used for irrigation, if it is not extracted from a canal or something like that, then the volume of water will not decrease. Yes or no? Volume of water will not decrease. The depth of the river will not decrease. But if you have constructed some sort of, like say, canal, maybe a dam is constructed, or a pipeline is there through which the water is extracted to the maybe extracted for irrigation, it is supplied to any other places. Okay, so that time what will happen now? The water level in the river will decrease. Understand? Water level in the river will decrease. So that is also another big problem of inland waterway. Understood now? The last one we have got is seasonal variation in water level, okay, in the rivers and canals. Now all of you know very well, okay, in India, monsoon is the main source of what is that called? Rain. Yes or no? And all the rivers, let it be perennial, let it be rain-fed rivers. Okay. It's true that the rain-fed rivers totally depends on monsoon, but rain-fed rivers, snow-fed rivers, perennial rivers to some extent, okay, depends on what? Monsoon. Even it depends on monsoon. So if monsoon will fail, if monsoon does not cause good amount of rainfall, then what will happen with the rivers? The rivers may dry up. Okay, so that time can it be used for navigation? Where there is only sand, the problem of inland waterways over here. Okay, so we have completed the problems of inland waterways. I know there are other points given there, right? But I don't want those things to be done. You basically focus on these things, and that is more than enough. Okay, now after this we move on to the next thing that is there. Okay, that is about your advantage of waterways. Now we'll talk about advantage of waterways. I just discussed about the problems of waterways. Now I will discuss of the advantage of waterways. Okay, we are about to complete the chapter, right? So advantage of waterways. What are the advantages of waterways? Can anyone tell me? We have discussed this.
It's the cheapest mode of transport.
It is the cheapest mode of transport.
Yes, so make a note of that.
Less fuel consumption.
Very good.
Eco-friendly.
Number one, right on, it is cheapest. Cheapest what? Mode of transportation. Okay, number one. Number two, fuel efficient. Yes or no? They are fuel efficient. Yes or no? Okay, we have fuel efficient is number two. Number three.
Environment friendly.
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly.
Yes. So you can write that they are eco-friendly. Okay. So write in the third point as they are eco-friendly. Finished? Yes or no? I think this will not be visible.
Yes.
So can you see now? Okay, number three I have not typed up there. It will not be visible. That's what. Okay. So write in the advantage of waterways. It is cheapest mode of transport. They are fuel efficient, meaning consumption of fuel is less. And third point you can write they are eco-friendly. Eco-friendly in a sense. See, if they are burning less fuel, okay, if they are fuel efficient, If they are not burning more fuel, then obviously they will cause what? Less what? Pollution. Okay, right. So now, but here the first point we all should understand. Okay, and I believe I discussed this one before also. Why waterways is the cheapest mode of transport? Tell me, out of all the modes of transport, okay, waterways is the cheapest. Why? Who can tell me? I believe I have discussed this one before only with the.
Because more construction route is required for the ships.
Yes, very good. Yes, construction of routes. Yes, no. Like say roadways and railways. What you have to do? You need to construct the what? Road. I say for roadways, obviously for running a vehicle, like say car, buses, and all that, you require a road. If you want to run a train, then you require a railway track. So those things are not there. Yes, so only ports are required to be constructed. So that is how. Okay, the cost of construction, or the construction of roads and all that, like a path is not required for waterways. That's why it becomes the cheapest mode of what? Transport. Okay, now okay, fuel efficient, and I think they are eco-friendly. All of you understood this one, yes or no? And one more you can write is like you can also write, add to this is like say heavy and bulk goods. Heavy and bulky goods, that will be point number 4. Make a note of that. Point number 4. Heavy and bulky goods can be easily transported. Right? Heavy and bulky goods can be easily what? Transported. So please make a note of that. Heavy and bulky goods can be easily transported. Finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is also done now, right? Now after this, we'll talk about the disadvantage of waterways. Advantage is finished, so we have to obviously talk about the disadvantages. So I'll give another heading over there as disadvantage of waterways quickly. Yes, disadvantages. Tell me, what are the disadvantages? I think you all know only.
Slow speed.
Huh? Yes. Is the slowest what? Mode of transport. Okay, so this is one. Number 2, what can be number 2? Tell me. Yes. Tell me. What can be the disadvantages? Tell me. You all think?
They are dangerous.
They are dangerous. Why?
We don't get amenities and all, like restaurants and all.
Well, like ship itself is a market, like
It is more risky.
Yes, transportation is more what? Risky. Okay, water transport is more risky. So right, it is risky. Okay, more risky mode of transport. Okay, very simple. Okay, tell me number 3 now. Yes, number 3. Yes, what can be number 3?
It pollutes the rivers and the seas.
Pollutes rivers and seas. No, that we cannot consider, I think. Is anything more than that? Yes.
So the cost of construction of ships is high.
That is there, but that will not come in case of this one. Yes, someone has given in the public chat. Let's see what is it. Affect marine life. That is okay. You can write. But it's
It has low speed.
low speed. I already gave you all. Think. Why every time I have to give the answers? You also can get it. Yes.
If monsoon will not be there, then there will be a decrease in water.
Listen to me. It can cause seasickness. You know seasickness. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So write on that. It can cause seasickness. Quick. Next. Yes, done. Okay. It can cause seasickness. Any more point that can be added? Right, the next
So
one.
if there is no monsoon, then the
depth will be less and navigation will be difficult. It's a dependence on monsoon.
Yeah, you can write that. Yes, depends on monsoon. Finished? Depends on monsoon. Finished? So this means you all know only beforehand. Many points you all know. That's good. So you all have written all the points. Okay, one of you just read
Yes, sir.
out. Okay, Bhavin Shah, can you read out the points? What you all have written? Bhavin Shah. Bhavin Shah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What are the points that you have written? Just read out.
So which one?
Disadvantage of waterways. What?
Advantage.
Did you write the disadvantages? Okay, who has written? Come on, quick. Okay. Prince Lauti, Sachidanand Kumar, and Santosh Shah, Amay Aryan. Okay. Yes, one of you, please tell me. Others, those who have not written, please make a note of it. Yeah, Pratik Paris, did you write the answer? Pratik. You speak, unmute yourself. No need to type over there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What are the points that you have written? Tell me.
So slow speed,
Hmm?
it is risky.
Hmm?
Then in the monsoon season, it gets dangerous.
Did I tell you that point? Monsoon season, it becomes dangerous. Huh?
No, sir. No, sir.
What was the point told to you all in the class? Tell me.
Seasickness.
What did I tell you?
Depends on monsoon. Sickness and it depends on monsoon.
Yes.
Depends on monsoon.
Depends on monsoon. So write on that. Next point, point number 4. Who can tell me point number 4? Quick.
Sickness.
Yes, seasickness. Okay. So this is done. Okay, let me tell you, this is done. Everything is now finished. Now related to waterways, advantage, disadvantages is finished. Then after that, inland waterways, problems of inland waterways is finished, and we have discussed about the difference of between the rivers of North India and South India. Now, what we do is we will not talk about coastal shipping. Okay. The coastal shipping, as I told you before, that coastal shipping is simply what it is. The transportation that is done from the coast, yes, from the in the coastal areas, like say through the major ports of India, like say take an example of Mumbai port is out here, yes, then you have got not Kolkata port, you have got Chennai port out here, Kochi port is out here, yes, so all these things from the coastal area, if it is, we are using it. Okay, so then what is the importance of this? Why it is so much important to us? Tell me. Why coastal shipping is so important to us? Can anyone tell me?
It's also like economic development of the
So
country.
for international trade.
Yes, I have told you before. I think in the last class I told you all that most of the what is that called? The trade. Yes, international trade is carried out through what? Coastal shipping, not inland. Inland is what? Like say suppose I would like I just want to give you an example over here. Okay, simply see here. Okay, if you take this as Kolkata port out here, this dot. Can you see this black dot out here? Yes or no? This is Kolkata port. Now what we
Yes,
can
sir.
do is see from other countries, okay, from any other country, like let's take from Australia, we bought some, say, what is that called? Say minerals. Okay. Now what we can do, we can take it up to where? We can take it up to Kolkata port. Possible. Yes or no? It is possible to take it up to Kolkata port. But from that particular port, either now you have to use, okay, there are other alternatives. Now either you have to use from here, like railways is required. If you want to take it to some other place, yes or no? Or if you want to use it to, if you want to send it to other place, then there's another mode, that is a roadways. This red one is road. Okay. This black one is what? It is railways. Okay. Now, understand now? But herein lies the importance of what your inland transport. Inland transport, what does it do? It will carry from the major seaport, if there is a river, like out in Kolkata port is possible. So through that particular river, what it can do, it can take it up to, like say, to the interior part. Like we know National Waterway 1 is from what? Haldia to what? Allahabad. So Allahabad, where is it now? It's in obviously it is in what, Uttar Pradesh. Yes, no? So till Uttar Pradesh, you can transport that particular good. You can unload it out here and to load it to the smaller, vessels. Okay, and that those vessels, I mean the smaller ships and all that, and then you can take it up to Uttar Pradesh at a lower cost. Okay, in comparison, if you transport it with the help of roadways or maybe railways, it would have been more expensive. Understood? Okay, so this is the importance of inland. Now, this coastal is what? Coastal is basically to deal with the other countries. Like say, I will give you another example out here. I think all of you know over here, right? Like this one. Okay, this is that of, okay, this idea of what Pakistan out here. And do you remember there is one particular, okay, Gulf out here. Can you tell me which Gulf is out here? Huh? Gulf? Yes, Persian Gulf. Have you heard about that? I think all of you know.
Yes, sir.
Listen, Persian Gulf. And I think you have heard about Suez Canal also.
Yes,
Have
sir.
you heard about
Yes.
Suez Canal? Yes.
Yes.
Sir. Suez Canal connects what? Like you can consider it connects to that of the Mediterranean Sea. And just about the Mediterranean Sea, which countries are there? All the European countries are there. Yes or no? So from Mumbai, if you want to export anything from Mumbai, you can take it from Mumbai like this. Through the Suez Canal, you can directly reach to Mediterranean Sea. And therein you have got the countries like that of all those particular European countries. So yes or no? Like obviously England is there only and many more. Yes or no? Right. So those countries, if you want to send the goods, it is possible to send. Okay, and that too, it is possible to send not only through this one, okay, with the shortest distance, but also that at a bulk. Understand? If the same thing, if you have to transport with airways, then what will happen? It will be very, very expensive. Okay, if you want to take it by railways, I don't think so. There is that big connectivity because in between we find different countries. Yes, no, we have got out of Pakistan. Yes, no, we have got Afghanistan out here. Yes, no, Pakistan is never favored into all that. Yes, no, and then Afghanistan was also quite favorable, but now the political scenario over there. Yes or no? So these sort of thing up and down will be there. So in that case, this coastal shipping becomes very, very important. And related to the coastal shipping only, let me tell you that China is also wanting, China is wanting to say even come and enter into this Bay of Bengal. And through Bay of Bengal, they want to enter into Indian Ocean. They want to trap. And if you see the history, if you follow the history, okay, you will find that, okay, blocking of the sea trading routes is a major cause of war. Major cause of war. Maybe if you have gone through World War I, okay, World War II and all that. World War II was moreover to just take the revenge sort of thing. Okay, and little bit of this one. But World War I was more or less, I think it was related to that, like blocking of the trade and all that. And if you even have read the history properly, okay, I mean, you go through the history, you will even find that England and France, okay, once they were the most powerful country in the European side. Yes or no? Still they are.
Yes.
And they used to have they used to fight every time they were actually fighting for all this trade route only. And right now, if you talk about you must be very aware of
Say Indo-Pacific.
Yeah, Indo-Pacific is there, and in South China Sea, the problem that have arisen in South China Sea. Yes or no? That China is claiming that the whole of South China, okay, they want to control the full of South China Sea. Okay, now, right? So if they will capture that, then the full block, everything will be blocked in that particular area. Okay, that's what they are all showing. They are showing all that their military, what is that called, like power and all that. They are trying to use it, and they want to capture even Taiwan and all that. Understood now? So these are some of the reasons. So it's all related to coastal shipping only. So you can understand from here, you can understand the importance of coastal shipping. Okay, coastal shipping is very, very important for international trade. Understood now? Like say in this case, in case of Bay of Bengal and this particular area, like in nearby Sri Lanka and this area, India has a good control over it, because we have got out here Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, I think all of you know, there we have Air Force Station as well as that of your Navy fleet and all that. Okay, so those things are actually what it is helping us to control out here. And so anything like any vessels, any ship has to pass through out here. Okay, this is this through Bay of Bengal and all that. Okay, use this particular water body. Then obviously they have to seek the consent of the Indian government. Understand now? Okay, so there are many things out here. So we'll not go on to that depth. Okay, all these things comes in case of geopolitics. Okay, so there's a particular subject also, geopolitical. Okay, geopolitical geography or geopolitics. Okay, that is also another important. You can consider discipline or a subject where you can do a lot of say analysis and all that. Okay, you can decide. If you study that, then you can make a strategies and all that. Okay, and that's very, very important. More important than any other discipline. Okay, so those subjects are also there. You can go on with that even later on. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, that is about the advantage of coastal shipping. Okay, so make a note of that, or if you have the book, you can mark it over there. That's much better. I think all of you have the book. Okay, Ashwini, Ashok, I don't know why you are in a listen mode. I'm sorry, I have not been giving attendance to you. Okay, you know very well the rule is that you should not be in a listen mode. And after repeatedly telling you want to be in a listen mode, or maybe you are listening to something else, this side listen mode, other side you are using some audio, maybe a YouTube video, maybe playing game. See, it's up to you. Okay, you want to study? Yes.
I'm having network problem.
Whatever it is, but still, you can speak right now. I can make out how there's a network issue. Okay, so see to that. Quick. Now we have got only 2 minutes left. Okay, it's already time. So advantage of coastal shipping, please make a note. Okay, it's already given there. The same advantages are given. It is eco-friendly. It saves fuel. Okay, fuel efficient is there. But more important to that, then it's related to that of your. Let me tell you that coastal industries. Okay, basically supports what? Your fisheries, fishing industry. Remember this, fishing industry. Okay, now that is there. So next to this is it reduces the burden on rail. Okay, rail transport. Okay, it reduces the, what is that called? The burden. So that is another important thing over there. Now apart from this, you can see it provides employment to thousands of people. Now in the seaport and all that, you know very well, some for security purpose, some for loading, some for unloading, some for administration purpose. Okay, and so many things are there. So some for making of ships and some for repairment of ships and all that. So many things. So there people get what? Employment. Next one is it even promotes tourism. Okay, now tourism in a sense, you can take a simple example out here that up here. But if you want to go to Andaman Nicobar, yes or no? How will you go? Tell me. You have a flight. Obviously, through flight, I think you can go over there. Yes. Next one is waterways. Yes or no? But people mostly tend to prefer, if you want to go to Andaman Sea, which one you prefer? Obviously, flight you are obviously more or less most of you have experience, but waterways not much. Yes or no? So most of you will love to use that waterways, but although it is slow, yes, that is right. Okay. So these are some of the advantages you go through on the book only. Next one is problems of Indian ports. So this is the last topic, and I'll just simply discuss about it, and then we'll end the chapter. Okay. First of all, Indian ports are not well connected with the hinterland. Do you know what is hinterland? Hinterland? Yes or no?
Yes,
anyone? Yes. Did I discuss before? Okay, Amir, tell me what is it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, this means I have to explain a little bit out here. So it's already a time also, so I will not extend it. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you so much, boys and bye. Please complete all the notes. The questions are given in the notes. Okay, next class I'll complete that chapter and I'll discuss the answers of that and then move on to the next chapter. Yeah?
So,
Yes.
so what is meant by seasonal variation of water level in the rivers?
The seasonal variation of water level in the rivers means when there is when it is a rainy season, the water level in the river will increase. Yes or no? And during the dry season, what will happen? The water level will what? It will drop. So variation means that rise and fall of water level in the river. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone with any question? Yes. Anyone with any question? Okay, I don't think so. So thank you so much for now. Bye. Attendance taken.
Morning. Thank you, sir.